Hello folks, welcome to the lease deals of the month for December 2023. We've got some absolutely amazing deals in this, and it's the first time in a long time that I've felt like we're getting close to those pre-pandemic prices again. I mean, there are some great cars in here for under 300 quid a month on 10,000 miles a year, 3 months up front, 3-year deals as always. Really decent cars for under 300 quid a month, and there's more than one or two. So let's crack straight on. We're going to do all the cars with engines to start off with, all the internal combustion engine and hybrid cars to start off with, and at the end I'm going to do all the electric cars so nobody gets too upset. As always, please use the link to Lease Loco in the video description and pinned as a top comment. I can't do this unless you do that. And thanks again to Cars to Cover for sponsoring this video. Let's crack on. So the first one, we've seen it before, so I won't dwell. Kia Ceed Sportwagon 1.5 GDI ISG2, 50 mpg, 625 litres of boot space, 8.6 seconds to 62, 240 quid a month with 721 up front. We've seen this car cheap before, but we've never seen it this cheap, I don't think. 253 it was, 275 it was, 295. Average price on it's been 267. It's always an exceptionally good value car. Lots of bang for your buck, tons of space. Currently 240 a month with 721 up front. That's an unbelievable price. Then look at this, all the car you could ever need really. The little Seat Leon 1 litre TSI Evo, 10.9 seconds to 62, 110 horsepower, 380 litres of boot space, insurance group 11, 51 mpg, 752 up front and 250 a month for a Seat Leon. It's a Golf. I mean, it's a brilliant car. Average price on that's been £297 a month, currently £250, remember. And if we go back just a couple of weeks, it was 322 quid a month. We've also seen it in July at 343. Back in December last year, 316. In May, 279, which was a great price at the time. 250 quid a month is as cheap as I've possibly ever seen a Seat Leon. Certainly in the last couple of years, that's a great deal as well. And folks, the value just keeps coming. Suzuki S-Cross. Nice little mid-size SUV, 430 litres of boot space, 53 mpg, and you'll actually get close to that. I did a review of one of these, and it was amazing on the petrol. 9.5 seconds to 62, 129 horsepower, 790 quid up front, 263 quid a month. Yes, £263 a month for a brand new car. Average price on it, 278 quid, 300 quid back in June. 299 in July, and for a lot of the year it's been around about that 278 280 mark. Currently 263 with 790 up front. Obviously we've already seen the Kia Ceed Estate. Just to say, you could also get the shooting brake version if you want something that looks a little bit sportier. 790 up front, 263 a month. And then one of the UK's favourite cars, the Nissan Qashqai, the 1.3 Digi mild hybrid Accenta Premium. 10.2 seconds to 62, 44.1 mpg, 140 brake horsepower, 504 litres of boot space. Only insurance group 12, so it's not going to cost you the earth to insure unless you live in, you know, the bang centre of London or something. £807 up front and £269 a month. It's in stock, this one. Average price on it's been 286. High points about 300 quid, 310 quid a month, around that sort of area. The only time we've seen it cheaper than this was 12 months ago, pretty much bang on 12 months ago, when it was 262 a month. 269 with 807 up front. By the way, we've still got 3 more cars under 300 quid a month coming up, and we've got some much spicier stuff, so stay tuned. Next, we've got the 1 litre Focus Hybrid ST line. 833 up front, 277 a month, 10.2 to 62, 125 horsepower, insurance group 15, 51 mpg, £349 a month has been the average. At its high point, 420. It's never been cheaper than it is at the moment. 833 up front with 277 a month. And if you like the Focus but it's not quite big enough, there's also the estate version for you, 51 mpg once again, 888 up front and 296 a month. And if we look at the averages on that and what the price has been doing, again, we've never seen it cheaper than it is at the moment. It's been around about this price for the last couple of months. Prior to that, 574 quid a month. So you could say it's a bit of a deal at the moment. If you average all that action out, the average has been 435, but it's a lot of car for the money. Those little EcoBoost engines are really good when they're young and they don't age well, a bit like me. So a good car to lease and not buy. Next is a car where you could argue it's better to buy because they'll go on forever. It's the 1.8 hybrid GR Sport version of the Toyota Corolla, which was the biggest selling car in the world until very recently. 873 quid up front and 291 a month. 9.1 seconds to 62, 140 horsepower, insurance group 17, 60 mpg and 361 litres of boot space. It is an automatic, this one. 352 has been the average price on it. It peaked in August at 414. Had long periods there of it around about the £400 mark, or just over the £400 mark. And then the price slowly came down, and we've only seen it £4 cheaper than this in the last 12 months. 291 a month with 874 up front. Next, we've got the Skoda Superb, and folks, they didn't call it the Skoda Average, and they did that for a reason. This car is superb. It's a 1.5 TSI SE DSG automatic, 9.2 seconds to 62, 150 horsepower, insurance group 20, a massive 625 litres of boot space. It's just a hatchback boot, but 625 litres is gargantuan. 45 mpg, 942 up front and 314 a month. It's in stock. This will go quickly because it is a very good price. As you can see, the average has been £415 a month. This time last year it was about £455. In April, £473. Quite a long period at around about £450. Then it went up to £519 for a good 6 weeks. And in fact, just 2 weeks ago, it was 519 quid a month. Currently 314 with 942 up front. As I said, it's an in-stock deal. The numbers will be limited. So if you're interested, you need to make an inquiry very, very quickly. And please use my link when you do it. Sticking with Skoda, we've got the Karoq. This one's the 1.5 TSI Sportline DSG. This is the one I'd go for if I was ordering a Karoq. The Skoda Sportline stuff looks very good. The 1.5 TSI is perfectly good. And the DSG gearbox is brilliant. 9 seconds, 0 to 62, 148 horsepower, insurance group 19, 521 litres of boot space, 44 mpg, 1100 up front, 365 a month. Very popular and spacious little SUV. Average price on it's been 415 quid. This time last year would have been 450, 470 in January, well over 400 quid in April. And then it's just dropped down in recent weeks. 1100 up front, 365 a month. Moving over to VW now. It's the Passat Estate 1.5 TSI Evo R-Line DSG, R-Line being the top sort of trim level. 8.9 seconds to 62, 150 horsepower, 42.8 mpg, 650 litres of boot space, insurance group 21. 1200 quid up front, 397 a month, and you get a hell of a lot of car for that. Honestly, if there's a better car for doing school runs and family holidays and European road trips and everything else, then show me it. Not for that sort of money anyway. It's definitely not for that sort of money. 1191 up front, 397 a month. As a reminder, back in December last year, 538 quid a month. Long period where it was about 433 to 463, and then it's just dropped down recently. 1191 up front, 397 a month. Now, if you like that, you like the practicality, but maybe it's a little bit too big for you, and maybe you've got a little bit of a midlife crisis buried somewhere down in your soul, this will do the trick. VW T-Roc 2 litre TSI 300 4Motion DSG. This is the T-Roc R. 420 quid a month and 1260 up front. That's a brilliant price, and it's in stock. 4.9 seconds to 62 in this one. 32.8 mpg, 392 litres of boot space, insurance group 33 and 300 horsepower. 4.9 seconds to 62 is EV numbers. You know, you don't expect that in a little SUV, do you? 4.9 seconds. If I had hair, it would blow it off. It peaked back in Jan at 582 a month, and then it's been around about the £500 a month mark ever since, sort of give or take 20, 30 quid here or there. 497 has been the average on it. Currently 420 a month with 1260 up front. That is a hell of a deal. As I said, it's in stock. so it will go quickly. So if you're in the market for a little pocket rocket, this might be the one. Something far more sensible is the Suzuki A-Cross 2.5 litre PHEV E-Force CVT. So this is the plug-in hybrid. 1,369 up front, 456 a month. 302 horsepower, 6 seconds to 62, 490 litres of boot space, insurance group 39. That would have cost you 734 quid back in July. In January, it would have cost you 689. This time last year, it would have cost you 656. The average on it's been 592. Currently, 456. It's a Toyota RAV4 with a Suzuki badge on it. It's incredible value for that money. I'm not just saying that. You're getting one of the more practical plug-in hybrid SUVs on the market, one of the more popular ones as well. Albeit, it's got a Suzuki badge on it instead of the Toyota one, but it is the same car. Yes, the same car. And I think that's an incredible price. 1,369 up front, 456 a month. Great option here from Volvo as well if you're in the market for a decent size SUV. It's the XC60 B5P Core all-wheel drive Geartronic automatic. 483 litres of boot space, insurance group 35, 250 brake horsepower, 0 to 62 in 6.9 seconds. 31.7 mpg. This one is a petrol. 1,462 up front and 487 a month. I'm sure you're familiar with the XC60, but here are some pictures in case you're not. Very nice, as you would expect from Volvo. It's just got that sort of understated style about it. Average price on one of these has been 576 quid. This time last year it would have cost you 555 a month. At its peak in September, 664 a month. Currently 487 with just under 1,500 quid up front. That again seems like a great price. And our last internal combustion engine car in this month's video is the Audi A7 Sportback 45 TFSI Quattro Black Edition S-Tronic. 6.2 litres to 62, 265 brake horsepower, 535 litres of boot space, and 34.9 mpg, insurance group 46, 1,963 up front and 654 a month. This one is a factory order. The average price on it's been 829 quid. Back in July, 994 a month, a grand a month in July. September, 967. Then it dropped down to about 680 in October, which looked like an amazing price at the time. But look at this, 654 with 1,963 up front. The A7, I think, is one of the best looking cars that Audi produced in that sort of last generation. I guess it probably won't be too long until that disappears and gets replaced with something else. But it's a glorious looking thing. They're lovely cars to drive. The interior is wonderful, very quiet inside, loads of performance, just a gorgeous car. And if you're in the market for one, this might not be a bad time to look at it. Thanks as always, go to Car2 Cover for sponsoring this video. We've looked at lots of gap insurance quotes in the past, in previous videos. Usually they come out between about 160 quid and about 200 quid for a 3-year lease deal on most cars we feature in the videos. If you don't know, gap insurance basically plugs the gap if the car's written off between what the finance company are asking from you and what the insurance company is paying out. And with a lease gap insurance, it also covers you for things like 250 quid towards your car insurance excess and 3 months payment of a new replacement car lease. And for 150 to 200 quid roughly for 3 years worth of cover, I honestly think it's daft not to do it. I obviously got a new car recently. I got gap insurance from Car2 Cover and I paid for it. You know, the sponsors videos, but I paid for it with my own money. I can't give you a better recommendation than that, really. You know, I put my money where my mouth is. I got 3 years peace of mind for literally a couple of hundred quid. So if you want to get a quote, then jump onto car2cover.co.uk or call 01438 870 615. If you quote Jim 10, you can only do that over the phone, but they'll knock £10 off any price you see on screen. And if you take out more than one kind of cover with them, for example, you might also want to get scratch and dent cover or tyre and alloy wheel insurance or something. If you take out more than one policy, they do multiple policy discounts. And then you stick that tenner from me on top as well. and you're getting yourself a bit of a deal, hopefully. You know, gap insurance is available from other places, but I would always suggest you compare it to what these guys can offer you. So car2cover.co.uk. Folks, a handful of EVs for you. I will have a separate EV lease deals video coming on towards the end of the month, probably just after Christmas, or I might sneak it in before Christmas. It depends how many deals are around at that time. Citroen EC4 is the first one here, 219 miles of range, 136 horsepower, 380 litres of boot space, 857 quid up front and 285 a month. Lots of people have seen these before. Lots of people have leased them after seeing the videos, to be honest. It's been one of the most popular ones according to Lease Loco. This time last year, 516 quid a month, 575 in January, 572 in June, 572 in September, and then the price really dropped at the start of October. This is the cheapest we've seen one to date, 857 up front and 285 a month. It's a great little car. Does everything most people are going to need it to do. It's got a reasonable range, over 200 miles of range, and I think at that sort of price, 285 quid, you know, especially when you factor in your servicing costs are going to be a lot less than they would be on an internal combustion engine car. You're probably going to have to pay a tiny bit more in insurance, but it's only insurance group 23. If you can charge from home, you're probably charging up overnight for about 4 quid. You know, it might be some reasonably cheap motoring for you. I'm just going to skip over this one because we've seen it a million times before. It's the Peugeot E208. You all know I like those a lot. 861 up front and 287 a month. This is an interesting one. The Nissan Aria, 160 kilowatt engaged, 63 kilowatt hour, 251 miles of range, 217 horsepower, 466 litres of boot space, insurance group 31. I've had several Nissan cars in for review, and this one impressed me by far the most of any Nissan I've had. I was really surprised by this. I was expecting it to be not that fantastic, and actually I was massively impressed by like the quality of the interior, etc. You can go and find the review for that on my channel somewhere. 1,300 quid up front and 437 a month on this, and that is a great price because these are not cheap cars. If you went to the dealership and wanted to pay cash, it's going to cost you a lot of money. We're talking Tesla money plus. 546 quid has been the average on this. Back in June, 656 a month. In September, 529 a month. Even, look, a couple of weeks ago, 451 a month. Currently, 437 a month with 1,311 up front. Next, we've got the VW ID 550 kilowatt Max Pro Performance, 77 kilowatt hour edition in stock. 1,646 up front and 548 a month. 549 litres of boot space, insurance group 33, 204 horsepower, 322 miles of range, which should be enough for most people, 8.4 seconds to 62. 746 has been the average price on it. This time last year, 864. In June, 943. In August, 904. In October, 904. Currently, 1,646 up front and 548 a month. 548 a month is the lowest price we've ever seen on this particular configuration of the ID5. It's in stock. You know what to do, folks. Click the link in the video description and pin as a top comment. Next, we've got the Skoda Enyaq Coupe. This is the 195 kilowatt 80X Sportline Plus 82 kilowatt hour 4x4 version. 1677 up front and 559 a month. 322 miles of range, 265 horsepower, 570 litres of boot space, insurance group 33. Obviously shares a platform with that ID5 that we've just seen. 6.8 seconds to 62 in this one, so get you down the road nice and quick. Back in January, 864 a month, and you see the price then for quite a long period was about 780 a month. About 625 it dropped to in September. Currently 559 with 1677 up front. Great price, great car, good deal. Still some deals around on the Genesis GV70. This is the 360 kilowatt sport 77 kilowatt hour version, all-wheel drive automatic, 1800 up front, 610 a month. 503 litres of boot space, insurance group 50, 490 brake horsepower, 283 miles of range. 4.2 seconds to 62, so by far the quickest car in this video. 14.5-inch navigation screen. It's gorgeous, this thing. I mean, they're just such lovely cars. Again, I've done a review of one of these and I just fell in love with it. I absolutely gushed over this thing. I mean, look at it. The materials, the quality of everything is superb, and it's just a lovely thing to drive. One of those cars where I almost cried when it went back. You did get a bit fed up with people asking you if it's a Bentley, though, if that's a bad thing. This time last year, 1,100 quid a month, and it stayed around about £1,000 to 1,100 for the best part of the year, right up until the end of the summer when it dropped to about 935. And then you can see it's been on a bit of an uppy-downy lately. There have been some deals floating around on these and disappearing again, and then we've got some more stock. 1,800 up front and 610 a month. These deals do seem to keep coming and going as little bits of stock appear and then disappear again. All I would say is when you see a price that fits you, just jump on it. And then finally, we've got the Ford Mustang Mach-E, standard range, 70 kilowatt hour, all-wheel drive, 248 miles of range, 269 horsepower, insurance group 37, 1,890 up front and 630 a month, 0 to 62 and 6.3 on this one. Average price has been 894, at its peak 1,150 quid. Currently 630 with 1,890 up front. Folks, thank you very much for watching this video. Please use that link to Lease Loco in the video description and pinned as the top comment. You can even go to my website and go into the what's it called? Let's have a look. What's the tab called? It's called Our Partners. And there's even a link to Lease Loco there, and there's a link to Car to Cover there. So please support our sponsors. It's the only way I can keep doing these videos for you. Also on my website, you'll find this little guide to car leasing, just some really basic stuff. You'll also find loads of videos in my back catalogue on YouTube if car leasing is a new thing to you and you want to know more about it. There's also something here telling you the difference between different types of car finance, etc. So hopefully a lot of your questions might be answered by a quick trip to the website or indeed a look through my back catalogue of videos. We'll have the in-stock deals coming up for you probably in the next week to 10 days. And yeah, hope everyone's got their Christmas shopping sorted. If anyone's looking for something for me, then I like a coffee, all right? And you can buy one of those using a link in the video description as well. Shameless plug, I know. Thanks ever so much, folks. I'll see you on the next one.